Yes, Prabhu.
अभी रिकॉर्डिंग करो.
Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna Ki.
Jai.
So let's chant Krishna's names for a while. Jai Shri Shri Yashoda Damodar Ji Ki. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Was that my end? Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna. I was just watching these three boys in front. It's so nice for young children to dress like devotees. It's amazing to see them in dhoti, kurta, tiny versions of kurtas. This one is really tiny. It's really nice. It's really nice because you give them the consciousness. You know, Prabhupada said that when you wear the clothing of a devotee, it's like a policeman on duty. A policeman on duty, actually, subtly, he doesn't realize that when he's putting on a uniform, it actually has an impact on his behavior. Because he knows that he's being watched, he knows that he's in uniform, and he also knows then that he has to behave himself. And that's very important. When a policeman is off duty, you can be sure because there's no uniform on, his behavior may be a little different. So actually, wearing the clothes of devotees is a checking mechanism on us. It helps us to always remember that we are devotees. People are watching us. People expect a certain behavior from us. And that regulates us. That's why, wearing clothes actually, it has an impact on our consciousness. It does. And they're all kartal players also. That's another important thing. And they're all, they're all picking up very well. So they are our future. So keep doing this. Keep doing this. We are very happy to be here in Chandrakant Prabhu and Mataji's house. Thank you so much, Mataji, for having us. We are on a most auspicious day because today is the first day of the last 5 days of Damodar month. And the first day of the last 5 days of Damodar month is not only very important to us, but it's also very significant because one great devotee known as Bhisma, you all know Bhisma. Bhisma was on the bed of arrows. If you remember, he was on the bed of arrows after the Mahabharat war, and he had not left his life yet because he had been given the benediction that he would choose the time of his leaving. So he lay on the bed of arrows. And during that time, as he lay on the bed of arrows, the Mahabharat war came to a close. And the Pandavas had a resounding victory. And the Pandavas decided that they wanted to come and see Bhisma. So what happened was, at the end of the Mahabharat war, even though the Pandavas won, Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is the emblem of Dharma, he felt very guilty because even though the war was sanctioned, even the war was a necessary evil, as we say, still so many lives were gone. And Yudhishthir Maharaj was a very compassionate Vaishnava. And even if those who were on the other side had wronged him, still he never took it to heart and he never kept it to himself. So he felt very bad and he turned to Krishna. And Krishna suggested to him, why don't we all go to the battlefield of Kurukshetra and let us go and take darshan of grandsire Bhisma. Let us go and see him because he is the greatest and the most learned of all of us. Krishna is actually Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. He is Sachidananda Vigraha. He is Anadir Adir Govinda. He is Sarva Karana Karana. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But see how Krishna acted his role. He was actually considered to be a cousin of the Pandavas. So he was actually younger to Yudhishthira. But despite being that, he still showed us that though he is God, he set the example. And he himself told the Pandavas, let us all go and pay respects to Bhisma. So they all went to the battlefield, but they were not alone. Bhagavatam 1st canto, 9th chapter tells us that all the sages who heard that Krishna and the Pandavas were going to see Bhisma, they all went also. So you had sages like Vyas Bhagwan, who is also Krishna. You had sages like Dhaumya, who was a great sage, and specifically the sage for the priest, so to speak, for the Pandavas. He was there. You had Gautama. You had Shukadev Goswami. He also appeared on that battlefield. So you had all the Sapta Rishis. You had Bharadwaj. You had Dronacharya coming, and you had all the other great personalities coming. So it was amazing. So many people came. They all came just to hear Bhishma Dev. So therefore it tells you what a great personality Bhishma Dev is. Now today, many years ago when Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows, today is the day, on Ekadeshi, that Bhishma Dev decided the last 5 days of Kartik month, I am going to observe a vow. And that vow is known as Bhishma panchak. And during this time, many devotees take an extra vow of not only lighting lamps for Damodara, but they also are very regulated in their diet. At the highest level, the Bhishma panchak vow involves only taking the panchagavya which is coming out from the cow. That's it. You take the cow's urine, you take the cow down, and you take 3 other items from the cow, and that's all. And you will just fast on that, and you will take that once a day for 5 days. So that is the highest level of fast. If you can't do that, then there are corresponding levels that you can do. But the important thing about Bhishma panchak is not the fasting. Fasting is there, and people can be austere and they can fast. But the important thing is the teachings of Bhishma Dev. That is very important. Because when Krishna and the Pandavas stood before Bhishma Dev, he started speaking wonderful advice to them. And today, because it is the start of Bhishma panchak, I'm just going to mention 5 or 4 verses that are very pertinent. And then we will look at the Leela of tying Krishna. It won't take much time. The first thing Bhishma Dev says in 1:19-12 of Srimad Bhagavatam, when he sees all the Pandavas in front of him, and Mother Kunti had also come there. This is the first thing he says. Aho kastam aho anyayam yad yuyam dhanaha anandanaha jivitum narharta krishtum vipra dharma achyutta ashraya. Last part is very important. He says vipra dharma achyutta ashraya. Ashraya means to surrender. Achyutta is another name for Krishna. Brahma, Vipra means the Brahmanas, the devotees. And Dharma means following the principles of scriptures. Now, Bhishma Dev tells the Pandavas who are standing before him, he looks at Kunti Mata also, and he says, what sufferings? Kastam, you all have heard of Kashtam. Kashtam means difficulty. Aho Kashtam, how much difficulty? Aho Anyayam, that means these difficulties were not endured because you deserved it. They were endured even though you didn't deserve it. Right? In our languages, the word Anyayam comes out. It means it is a great gross injustice. And therefore, Bhishma Dev was saying, the Pandavas were subject to so much of injustice. Nothing was fair. They were treated so badly by the Kauravas. But despite them having to suffer so much, even though they were the most religious and spiritual persons, still they suffered. But Bhishma Dev says, you were protected by 3 things. And this is the essence of the class today. What protects us in our devotional service? When we take ashraya, ashraya means when we surrender to Krishna. When we surrender our heart, our body, our minds, our deeds to Krishna, then 3 things will protect us. 1, Krishna protects us. Ashraya, achyutta. Achyutta. Krishna is achyutta because he cannot fall. Infallible. Everyone else can fall, meaning we make mistakes. But Krishna never makes mistakes. The second thing that will protect us is if we follow our dharma. And what is our dharma? Our dharma is yator bhakti radok saje, to render devotional service to Krishna. If you follow that dharma, you're always protected. And the last thing that will protect us are the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. The devotees will protect us. So therefore, Bhishma Dev said, in your life you had so much of kashtam, you had so much of anyayam, but despite all the difficulties, you took shelter of Krishna the devotees, and you took shelter of devotional service. That is why you are surviving today. So this is the point I want to share with you. And this is the point of why Mother Yashoda is also protected in her surrender to Krishna. And this is stated by Bhisma Dev. Very important. The other point Bhisma Dev says is Sarva Kalam Kritam Manye Bhavatar. He says Bhavatar Chayat Apriyam Sapale Yad Vashe Loko Ganar Vayur Iva Ganavalihi. This is just 1 or 2 verses after that. He says, please remember, anything that happens to you in this world happens because of the influence of Kala, time. Time. You cannot blame the person next to you for what happens. When time is not in your favor, nothing works. When time is in your favor, everything that is not supposed to work will work. Have you seen that in your lives? Very often it happens. You're doing everything right, but time is not on your side. So Bhishma Dev tells the Pandavas also, please remember one thing. All that has happened in the war is because of inevitable time. Then he tells them something very important, which we should learn also. Yatra dharma suto raja, gadar pani vikrodhara, Krishna stri gandivam chapam, suhat Krishna tato vipat. He says, you Pandavas, you were the greatest of the devotees. You had Arjuna, who was such a great devotee. You had the great Bhisma, who was so powerful. You had Dharma personified Yudhishthir Maharaj. You even had Krishna with you. Suhat Krishna tato vipat. Your well-wisher Krishna was with you. Despite all that, you suffered so much. You see, the influence of time. Sometimes when we take up devotional service, we think why we should suffer. Krishna must take care of it. But we suffer also. But the suffering of a devotee is not the suffering of a materialist. Because even while we suffer as devotees, we are being purified. This is very important. Sometimes when the room is full of dirt, what must you do? You must clean it. The cleansing process is very dusty, very painful, very uncomfortable. If you have asthma and you dust the room, you had it, I tell you. But after everything settles down, the room is finally clean. This is what happens in devotees' lives. Even if the great Pandavas had to go through problems, then what to speak of you and me? How can we tell to Krishna, Krishna, I surrendered to you and I've got problems? We can't. Because it is time. When it is time for us to go, no one can stop it. When it is time for us not to go, no one can make us go also. You see? Now, Chandrakant Prabhu, Mataji, we plan and plan when the program should be. Right? So many days couldn't. But when the right time came, the program happened. I didn't know it's the first day of Bhisma panchak also. It finally happened. You see? So, it is not in our hands. It is not in our hands. So, that is why we must remember that. And last point, he says, Tasmat idam daivam tantram. Very nice point. Devasya bharata rishabha tasya anuvihito anataha nata pahi praja prabhu. He says there that please remember, anything that happens to a devotee is tasma idam daivam tantram. Daivam tantram means it is the enchantment of Krishna. It is the enchantment of Krishna. Accept it, learn from it and move on. This is what we should. I have never heard more practical prayers in my life than the prayers of Bhisma. And today let us honor him, because today is the day on a bed of arrows in so much pain, he can speak so much sashtra. We are so cushy and comfortable, we can't even speak one word of sashtra. This is why he's Bhisma Dev. And that's why from today till the end, remember Bhisma Dev. As you remember the Leela, remember Bhisma Dev. In this Leela, Mother Yashoda wakes up in the morning of Diwali. And when she wakes up in the morning, she is dressed up and ready. But she is tasmat ekena manasa. She has only eyes for one thing, ears for one thing, and she has strength for one thing. And that is to serve her beloved Krishna. That is what she wants to do. So she churns butter for him. She has a lot of maid servants. They are engaged. She could have disengaged them from something and asked them to churn butter. But she did not. Because bhakti is between you and Krishna. You have to do the bhakti. You can't ask someone to do it for you. If supposing it's your turn to do arati, you can't tell someone, you do the arati, benefits come to me. Or, you can't be an initiated devotee, you're supposed to chant. You promise Guru Maharaj, I'll chant 16 rounds. The moment the thing is finished, you tell your husband, from now on, if you want food on the table, you have to chant 16 rounds for me also. It doesn't work that way. Bhakti cannot be outsourced. You took your vows, you have to do the vows. Mother Yashoda loved Krishna. It wasn't a labor for her, even though it was laborious. You see the point? Churning butter is not easy, but she did not see it as a labor. It's not easy to arrange a program like this and call everyone. But if you ask Prabhu and Mataji, they'll tell you it is not labor. It is sweet. It is sweet. because it is devotional service. So therefore, as she performed that devotional service of churning butter, she was occupying her mind, her words, her heart, everything. She was occupying them by remembering Krishna. That is why Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. If you hear about Krishna, you will repeat what you have heard. Then you will, after repeating what you have heard, you will remember Krishna. So Mother Yashoda repeated all the pastimes of Krishna to herself, and in that way, she remembered Krishna. And Krishna then remembered her. And he came out of the room where he was sleeping, and he told her to stop churning, because he wanted milk. So Mother Yashoda stopped her activity, because now it was no longer needed. It was only necessary insofar as it was for Krishna. Now it is not necessary, it is not needed. You remember Arjuna was on a chariot, and he had great horses, and he had the Gandiva bow, and he was the greatest warrior the world had ever known. The moment Mahabharata war ended, Arjuna lost his potency completely. He had the same chariot, the same horses, the same bow, the same arrow. He said, I am the same Arjuna also. But at the point of the war, everything about him and the chariot and the weapons were potent because of Krishna's mercy. But the moment it was of no use, it lost its potency. Therefore, devotees should not be unnecessarily attached to something, only if it is useful for Krishna. If it is not, adapt and do something which is useful for Krishna. It's very important. So Mother Yashoda instantly adapted. She put Krishna on her lap and she fed him milk. Krishna was very happy, but Mother Yashoda had an awkward situation. In the kitchen, she had put a pot of boiling milk, and it was now boiling over at the same time she was feeding Krishna. Sometimes in life that happens, isn't it? You want to do both devotional service or both services, but it all comes together. So Mother Yashoda was thinking, let me put Krishna down. Let me somehow save the milk, because the milk was not meant for Mother Yashoda. It was meant for Krishna. That was the consideration. So you can see Mother Yashoda was focused on Krishna all the way. No matter what encumbrances and obstacles were there, just like Bhisma was lying on a bed of arrows and he was remembering Krishna, in the same way, Mother Yashoda was in an awkward situation, but the priority was Krishna. So she went to the kitchen to save the milk. And when she came back, Krishna was not there. The pot of milk and butter she was churning had been broken. The truth is, Krishna was very upset with Mother Yashoda. Sometimes children become upset with parents, isn't it? Vallabh, you're shaking your head, huh? Vigorously. Okay. Do you get upset with your parents? Yeah. That's a very strong yes. Okay, fine. Where's the other one? Where's the small one? Oh, he's there behind. Okay, fine. What about the little girl there sitting there? That yogi. Do you get upset with your mother?
Yes.
You do, huh? Very affirmative, isn't it? So there you are. That's why Krishna is a little boy. He got upset. How can you put me down? I'm feeding. So he took the stick, he took a stone and he broke the pot. And all the butter came out. And you all know Krishna loves butter. So it was a dual thing. One, he punished his mother, but he got the reward of butter. So he ate the butter and he ran away. Mother Yashoda comes and she's very upset because she's thinking, so much work I'm doing, and he breaks the pot of butter. He's a very intelligent boy. He's not standing in front of me, otherwise I will punish him. But she thought, today is Diwali day. Krishna has become too naughty. He's always stealing butter, not only from my house. My house, at least acceptable, is his own house. But he goes to the neighbor's house to steal butter. And that's not acceptable. And therefore, if I want to really be a good mother, I have to discipline Krishna. So she takes a stick and she walks in to see where Krishna is. Krishna is in a storehouse where all the butters are stored. One butter pot was not enough for him. And Mother Yashoda was standing at the door and she saw him breaking pot after pot. And the milk was flowing, the curd was flowing, all the milk preparations were flowing. But Krishna was not alone. Krishna was with his monkey friends. I mean monkeys, huh? They were his friends, but they were monkeys. And he was feeding them, and they were feeding him. And Mother Yashoda thought, this is the height of mischief. Today I have to discipline Krishna. But she waited, because she was amused to see that exchange of love. But she could not understand. These monkeys were not simply playmates to Krishna in this time. They were the servants of Krishna as Lord Ram. They were the Vanaras in Ram Leela. And they served Lord Ram very nicely, such that when Lord Ram wanted to reward them, they asked for nothing but more service. Our reward in devotional service is not to stop the service, it's to increase the service. Please remember that. In spiritual world, whatever you are doing is the means and the end. In material world, you always have a means to an end. Isn't it so? We do something to achieve an outcome. But in spiritual world, because everything is absolute, the means and the outcome are the same. If you are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that chanting you will do when you perfect your life even in Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Vrindavan. It's not like you will upgrade now, no more chanting. Once you go there, you can just sit down and do nothing. No, you will do more chanting. If you're all lighting lamps here in the spiritual world, you light more lamps. If you're having prasadam here in spiritual world, much more prasadam. That should be happy news, isn't it? So that's how it is in spiritual world. So Mother Yashoda did not understand this great affection. This affection was many, many lives ago. The devotees of the Lord never forget to serve the Lord. Whether Lord was Ram, whether he's Krishna, it is the same mood. Except here, Krishna was so kind to his devotees that he allowed these monkeys to become his friends. Whereas in the Ram Leela, they were almost like servants to the Lord, awe and reverence. But Mother Yashoda had enough. And suddenly the monkeys saw that she was standing at the corner. Now they knew that she would be angry. And so they scrambled out. They ran away from the windows, the door. They were out very, very quickly, leaving only Krishna behind. When Krishna turned around and saw the source of the monkey's fear was his mother, he also became fearful. Because Mother Yashoda had a stick. And he knew now that she was angry. So Krishna jumped off the mortar that he was standing on and he started running away from Krishna. Now when children run, we know we can catch them, especially when they're very young. And so Mother Yashoda was very confident she could catch Krishna. But what she did not realize is that no one can catch Krishna. Because Krishna is God. You cannot catch him until he allows himself to be God. That is his mercy. So Mother Yashoda kept running after him with love. She did not run after him with envy. She did not run after him with anger. The anger that you think she was running after was based on love. The worry of a mother is based on love. Mothers, you know, sometimes you're upset with your children, but you're not upset with them because you're envious of them. You're upset with them because they're not doing what they're supposed to do and you know better. But children don't listen, so you get upset. Same thing, Mother Yashoda was not upset with Krishna, but she wanted to catch him. But she could not. And so finally Mother Yashoda decided, let me surrender to Krishna. And so she said, Krishna, can you stop running? Then I can catch you. And because Krishna saw Mother Yashoda had put so much effort, so much hard work, his heart melted. And he himself allowed himself to be caught. So never think that Krishna can be caught by our endeavor. Krishna can be caught by his mercy. But his mercy is attracted by our endeavor. You see the equation? That is how it works. And so when Mother Yashoda caught Krishna, she was very, very sad. Because Krishna was crying. He was so fearful of her. He admitted that I have committed an offense. But still she had the stick. And so he was afraid. Bhagavatam describes that he was crying in fear. His body was shaking in fear because he was crying. All the necklaces that were on him, you know, the belt, he had a belt, he had these anklets, he had the ones you wear here, he had earrings, everything. And he was just shaking. And so everything was shaking. And Mother Yashoda's heart melted. And she thought, I cannot punish this boy, but I must discipline him. So she put the stick down. Now this is amazing. Never in anywhere, in any Leela, do we find God being afraid of anyone. Isn't it true? The demons are afraid of God. Hiranyakashipu was very great, but when Narsingadev came, he was very afraid. Hiranyaksha was very powerful, but when he fought with Varaha, he became afraid. You will see that every incarnation of the Lord had the ability to instill fear in the demons. Even devotees who normally work with Krishna or worship Krishna, Krishna is never afraid of them. Krishna is not afraid of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is afraid of Krishna. Fear personified is afraid of Krishna. And yet Mother Yashoda could make Krishna fearful of her. How is that possible? Because Krishna was in the rasa of being a child. And because the basis of this fear was love. That is the key. You see the point? And because of that, Mother Yashoda's love conquered Krishna. And Krishna behaved like an ordinary child. Completely submissive to his mother. And so Mother Yashoda said, stand there and don't move. I'm going to take a rope and I'm going to tie you. And now Mother Yashoda got ready to tie Krishna. Have you been tied by your mother? No. No. Would you like to be tied by your mother? No. So most people don't get tied today. I don't think that's the form of punishment. It could become vogue if people started hearing this Leela. But here, Mother Yashoda had a problem. Because she got the rope, but she couldn't tie Krishna. You may have all the facilities in the world, but it doesn't mean it will please Krishna. It doesn't mean you have conquered Krishna. You can have a program, you can do all the right things, but Krishna reserves his right to be bound. Please remember that. You can do all the service you want, but don't think you are entitled to bind Krishna. Krishna will get bound when he wants to be bound. And so when she brought the rope, it was 2 fingers short. She got all the rope in the house, it was still 2 fingers short. She went to her neighbors and she got rope and it was still 2 fingers short. And at the end of all that endeavor, she could not tie Krishna still. Because Krishna is Swarat. He is independent. No one can tie him down. But finally, Mother Yashoda did one thing that devotees do. She surrendered to Krishna. Sharanam. And she surrendered to one who is worthy of shelter. Sharanyam. So where there is Sharanyam, there must be shelter. If you find someone worthy of shelter like Krishna, then you must do Sharanam to Krishna. So Sharanyam and Sharanam. Both she actually did. And when that happened, Krishna became conquered. Krishna surrendered to her. And Krishna took shelter of her. So Krishna actually performed Sharanam and he did Sharanyam to his mother. This is the loving exchange of the devotee and Krishna. It never exists anywhere else. Bhisma Dev was on the bed of arrows in so much pain. When Krishna and the Pandavas came, Krishna bowed before Bhisma Dev. Now when you read the first canto 9th chapter, Krishna bowed before. Why did he bow? Because he was conquered by Bhisma Dev's bhakti. That is why he bowed. Otherwise the Supreme Lord does not have to bow his head to anyone. But he bowed to Bhisma Dev. Because Bhisma Dev is a Mahajan. He is a great, great saintly personality. So saintly personalities can capture Krishna. Not because they want to capture him, but because they are surrendered to him. That is the beauty of love. And so Mother Yashoda finally managed to tie Krishna. But she did not tie Krishna with the rope. She tied Krishna with bhakti. This is the important point for us to realize. Bhisma Dev tied Krishna by bhakti. Krishna came all the way with the Pandavas to see Bhisma Dev in these last 5 days of the Kartik Mass. And he would have come on the first day, on Ekadashi, to see Bhisma Dev. And what a momentous occasion it was. So therefore, the tying of the Lord is dependent on 2 fingers. The 2 fingers that are short, they are the 2 fingers which are most important. The first finger is the finger of your endeavor, my endeavor, our endeavor. We must always endeavor for Krishna. But our endeavor should not be laced and tinted by material considerations. There should be nothing in our heart, no envy, no lust, no anger, no greed, no motivation. The only motivation is, does this please Krishna? That's all. That is our consideration. Then if that is there, then the second finger will manifest. And the second finger is the mercy of Krishna. And the mercy of Krishna is so powerful, but it is still attracted and conquered by the endeavor of the devotee. This is the Leela that we should remember. So therefore, on this day of Bhisma Dev, Bhisma Panchak, we should remember that there is a very nice similarity between Yashoda Mata's devotion and Bhisma Dev's devotion. What was Bhisma Dev saying in all these prayers? He was saying that nothing is in our hands. Everything is in the hands of time. But who is time? Time is Krishna. Krishna says, Sarvasya Chaham, Riddhi Sannivishto is in the heart of everyone. But he also says, time I am, destroyer of the world. Right? Mrityu Chaham. He says, I am death and I am the destroyer of the world because I come as time. So actually when Bhisma Dev says, Sarva Kalam Kritam Manye, Bhavata Chaya Apriyam, he says that nothing is dear to time because everything must move in time. That time is a manifestation of Krishna. A devotee who uses time for Krishna, like we have used the last 40 minutes for Krishna, we are not touched by time. Time cannot touch us now. We are now, in the space of Krishna's mercy. That's why we are peaceful. But the moment we leave the association of devotees and we are using time in a material way, and we don't offer that which we do to Krishna, then time will catch us. Then we fall under the influence of time. You see the point? Do you know in the spiritual sky of Vrindavan Dham, there is no concept of time. The material concept of time is not there. So when devotees say that the Leela happened in the morning, it happened in the daytime, it happened in the night, it is not the way we are seeing it in this material world, because that is governed by time. But there the Leelas are eternal. The Leelas are eternal. Every Diwali that Leela is going on. In our Leelas, in our life, those things don't happen. Everything is growing old. 10 years ago we didn't look like the way we are, right? 5 years ago some of us were not even here. And 5 years later some of us won't be here also. So that is time in this material world. But time in Vrindavan is very different. Because all the devotees have only time for Krishna. If you have only time for Krishna, time doesn't affect you even in the material world. You will die, you will fall sick, you will have disease, you must be born. But time doesn't affect your consciousness. Doesn't affect your consciousness. That's why Bhisma Dev was on the bed of arrows. Anyone tried sleeping on a bed of arrows? Not advisable, right? It's very difficult. He was dying. And yet his consciousness was so sharp. That was the mercy of Krishna because of his endeavor. Mother Yashoda achieved the highest perfection of conquering her child. Not because of her demonic tendencies, but because of her love, her endeavor, and Krishna's reciprocation of mercy. So please take this back on this auspicious day of Bhisma Panchak. And as we light the lamps today, remember Bhisma Dev. Remember how his life was a difficult life. He had to work with the Kauravas, not easy to work with Kauravas. He had to tolerate them, but based on the principles of warfare, he had to fight on the side of the Kauravas. But when he fought on the side of the Kauravas, his mind, his heart, everything was always taking darshan of Krishna. In fact, Bhisma Dev says in Bhagavatam, I am the luckiest man because I was standing across and I could see Krishna. I was put in the enemy camp, but I had a better darshan of Krishna than all of you who are fighting next to Krishna. If you're fighting next to Krishna, you can't keep seeing Krishna, you lose the battle, isn't it? But if you're on the opposite camp and you are a devotee, it's the best case scenario. Everyday darshan of Krishna while you fight. Amazing, amazing. That's Bhisma Dev. So a devotee may be put in difficulty, but even then he sees the hand of Krishna. That is Bhisma Dev. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Bhisma Panchak ki Jai. Jai Damodar Leela ki Jai. Are we ready to light lamps? Mataji, ready? So now you know why you're lighting lamps, right? This lamp is the illumination of knowledge in your hearts. Light it and offer it to Krishna now. You will divide them, Prabhu, Mataji? We can take 2 rows, right? Mataji's on one side. You will have achaman. All of you you'll be given some water, which is achaman. Don't drink it. Just purify yourself. And then, do you all have Damodar Ashtakam with you? You can do one thing. This is the time to look at your phones. This is a good time to look at your phone. Okay? Just open the phone now and look at Damodar Ashtakam. You probably see it under ISKCON Desire Tree or a PDF copy. Damodar Ashtakam. It's very easy. Damodar Ashtakam. Namah Sachidanandaru Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Sachidanandaru Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Hari Hari Yashoda Virolu
Jaya
चिताओ भक्ति भजो कृतौ च सुधाम्ने स्फुरति धाम्ने हरियोदराय विश्वस्य धामे नमस्ते सुधाम्ने स्फुरति धाम्ने हरियोदराय नमो राधिकाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय श्रीमती राधारानी की नमो राधिकाय प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama श्री राधा दामोदर जी की, वृंदावन भूमि धाम की, गिरि गोवर्धन की, भीष्म पंचक महो महो सत्व की, जय श्री श्री महाजान भीष्म देव की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रील गुरुदेव की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की, जय गो। Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anja Mataji, thank you so much for having us over. And we thank all devotees for joining us today. Please have a wonderful last 5 days and come and join us at the temple, because on Wednesday is the last day and we will all be at the temple in the evening, and we hope to have a wonderful hour, maybe hour and a half of just Kirtan and chanting and lighting lamps. Please come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु जी की
जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की